My name is Bethany Ackerman. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. It's an extremely large town in the Midwest. My high school graduating class was actually 1,110 people. I come from a family of medical backgrounds. My mom is a retired nurse. She retired just before I was born. And my dad works as an ICU pulmonary care doctor. It seems great, don't get me wrong, and it has its perks, but it's hard when you feel like you have to follow that. And it's hard growing up when you think that people want to be friends with you, but they're really actually being friends for you for what you have and what your house has. But, it's a good thing I moved here. That was a big reason as to why I actually came here. So people didn't have to know that background. There wasn't a stigma from where I came from. I actually come from an extremely different place, though. I was adopted right from the womb with my twin sister. So my medical mom and dad that I was talking about were actually my adoptive parents. So there have been a lot of events in my life that I feel have really, really affected me. The first and probably the biggest that I'll go with is my pap passing away when I was 15 years old. He was someone who always told me that I could do anything, and he was my sister's best friend. Even more so than me. My sister and I are very close, but even more so than we are. And seeing how much that affected her really affected me, because I can see it even in her to this day. She tries to make him proud still, even though he was always proud. That happened, and then, in October of 2020, I lost my first dog, Zoe, who was my best friend. She was only 9, and after that I was shortly diagnosed with major depressive disorder and mild seasonal depression. As far as inspiration and things that I like to watch a lot of crime and true crime, supernatural, horror-themed movies, TV, the occasional comedy sprinkled in. I want to make that as well, and I think that a lot of that comes from the people who don't come from a silver spoon background. Not that I essentially did, just because my parents are medical, but same sort of gist. And these kinds of things are usually people who come from broken homes, broken cycles, and they have to strive to break that cycle, or sometimes don't. And I tend to gravitate towards these characters more for movies and TVs, and it's not due to sympathy always, but for more understanding. I think that there are characters that, even though they are coming from that background, you can't, or shouldn't necessarily, I won't say can't, but you shouldn't necessarily sympathize with. But to sprinkle a little bit of the comedy in there, my sister and I always make jokes about our birth mom. It's definitely not to cope with it, because we never knew her. We don't know her still to this day. But I think it's just us to kind of make jabs that hey, we're in a better place, it could have been this, but we're not there. But still. And I want to make more content or media that's more leaning towards the line of the TV show Shameless, which quite literally I lived part of, or all of. So I want to make films and shows that no matter who, what, and or where you come from, you can choose your family. It doesn't have to be blood, and that you can break those cycles. It doesn't matter where you came from, that you just have to strive. And I want to make more movies with characters that have these more in-depth backgrounds that might be in different places now, to help sort of people that are in my situations similar to it.